morning. Uh, well, today we are here at the ocean side, and let me show you guys the beautiful ocean side. So there's the ocean side, beautiful place. Wave it's perfect. It's not too strong, but it it's a little bit strong. Maybe the fish are under the pier right now, or maybe not. Okay, what I wanna talk about the fishing activity. What time is the best time to go fishing? Friends go fishing and then they don't know what's the good time to go fishing. Sometimes friends call me and they say, "Hey Luis, I went fishing, but I done everything you said. I use grimpy, I use shrimp, I use everything, and there's no fish." That's because um, they went in the wrong tide or in the wrong weather. Let's tell you what I use to check the tide and check the waves, to check everything. The activity, fishing activity. I can check it on the internet. You can just go on the internet, just write the chart tide, or you can use the fishing points or fishing app like Tide app. I'm using fishing points, which is this one. You can check it, fishing points. This one. I'm not promoting the app. You can use any other app, but I'm gonna show the app that the one I use. Um, Today the high tide is 7:30. So if I wanna go fishing today, I have to start 2 hours about the high tide, which is 5:30. 1 hour setting up, drinking my coffee, and it takes time to starting to make some hooks, and maybe it takes me half hour, or I'm not sure. And then I'm gonna start fishing about 6, and then maybe some fish start to bite about 6:30. Some fish start to bite about 7, or maybe nothing. But I'm sure for opalite 8:30 they start to bite, because that time is 1 hour after high tide, and then they start to bite on the low tide, low tide, low tide, low. And then they stop a little bit, and then they start sometimes on the low tide. So the opalite bites more from after the high tide, 1 hour after, or sometimes they start from 2 hours before high tide, and then they stop, and then they start again. Uh, the fish doesn't bite when it's low tide, and when it's low tide to going about high tide. The fish doesn't bite during the tide is going high. Um, if people go that time, you're not gonna get anything, because the fish doesn't bite. The opalite doesn't bite on that time. Maybe the curvina, the croaker, the other kind of fish, but not the opalite. But right now there's no croaker, so there's no fish for that. Uh, that's why sometimes people doesn't get fish on when they go, because they think on high tide, so they go before high tide, and that's the wrong time. The best time is 2 hours before the highest tide, and then wait till maybe in the middle of the low tide. So, but if you don't get fish 1 week, try it next week, because sometimes the fish stop biting 1 week, and then they start to bite again 1 week. So fishing is very weird. That's why my channel calls it. It's not just fishing because there's too many things to know about. For bass, it's the opposite on the other kind of fish. The bass only bites on low tide. If I go for bass, I go very, very low tide. If the low tide is 7 a.m., I have to be there 2 hours before low tide, and then they have chance to get some bass. If I go high tide, I don't have any chance to get bass. So bass fishing is totally different. Curvina starts to bite most of the time about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., in the noon, and then they start again in the afternoon. For croaker, it's any time, but not the season right now. And for the perch likes like the rocky spots, so the black perch likes the where there's a lot of reefs, seaweed. The surffish they like sandy and rocky spots, so you can get them better with the sand crabs. They love sand crabs. Sometimes I get big fish and sometimes nothing. That's how fishing is. Just enjoy your day and spend it with your family. Get your coffee or some snacks, some fruits. Enjoy the beach. Enjoy the spot. Because fishing is super weird. Sometimes you get, sometimes nothing. And it's not just for the surf, like the land fishing, it's same on the deep sea. So it's the app, the one I'm using, Fishing Points, is one of the best app. For me, I paid about $40 for the round of year, but and it works very good. Okay, guys, so it's all for today. I hope my tips helps you.
Your fish cast?
Yeah, first time.
What do you think? Is it maybe a perch or a bass? Or maybe yellowfin croaker? What's that? That's a perch. Oh yeah, it's a perch. And it's a nice one. Okay, there's perch here. Vámonos. Shark.
Oh, I took it on the lip too. I took out the worm and put a shrimp.
You got it on shrimp just there, huh?
Yeah.
Not far away. It's a nice one. You have two. Wow. Well, wait, this is what we got today for perch. Two got Jason and I got two. Jason got two, right, Jason? How many you got?
I got two. Got some sharks, a couple of sharks,
I got a shovel nose and
Yeah.
two perch.
and a little stingray.